Android.
Now at 9, after requesting a permit for an in-home daycare, tensions rise in one Pittsburgh neighborhood. And we'll have the latest. Plus, according to the CDC, norovirus cases have doubled since the start of the new year. And Oklahoma school bond results are pending for the Cleora Public Schools. Possible approval. We'll have those results.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Pittsburgh neighborhood becomes the center of a controversy involving a proposed in-home daycare. This is KOAM News at 9. I'm Tanya Bach. The conditional use permit for Play to Learn childcare was the top agenda item at tonight's City Commission meeting. Neighbors created a petition against the permit, citing concerns involving increased traffic, the daycare's hours, and the family's dog. But in the end, every commissioner voted in favor of granting the license. KOAM's Samantha Walker breaks down why the potential permit created such a buzz.
As a mother of 3 and an experienced occupational therapist, Sheena Cosman says she's ready to begin her new career as an in-home daycare provider.
By then, I had already had everything else done. I did my licensing surveyor. She came and approved. I had the state marshal come in, did the food program, and that was the last step.
In-home daycares are allowed in residential areas in Pittsburgh, requiring a conditional use permit that's recommended by the Planning and Zoning Commission and approved by the City Commission. But when the conditional use permit was discussed at a Planning and Zoning meeting in December, several neighbors came to voice their disapproval and concerns.
This is not the place to do it.
I'm concerned about the increase in traffic.
Children that are screaming and yelling. I know there was a dog that got loose at one time.
Cosman is licensed to have 10 kids in her daycare, 3 of whom will be her own. She says traffic shouldn't be a concern because she'd only have a handful of parents coming each day, and they'd not come at the same time. Another concern neighbors cited was involving a daycare when the Cosmans owned a dog that appeared to be pit bull-like, an animal barred from the city of Pittsburgh. The family says they've removed the dog from the city and are awaiting DNA results. They say if it is a pit bull, it will remain out of the home.
If there wasn't a city ordinance, that has no effect on daycares and state licensing.
Yeah, pit bulls are actually allowed in daycares. Like, it's not.
So they're completely separate issues.
Neighbors against the permit also told the Planning and Zoning Commission they wanted the area to remain purely residential.
Every school here in town is in a residential zone. That's probably the biggest point to make. As far as a home-based business, this is just one that, by our standards, requires a conditional use so that you can set conditions if you choose to approve it.
The Planning and Zoning Commission voted 4-2 to recommend the approval of the conditional use permit, sending it to the City Commission for a vote. For the Cosmans, they say it's been frustrating to see so much backlash when they see such a clear need for more childcare options.
And even several of the petitioners and even people that voted no against it went on and on and on about what a big need this is, and this would be great for our community, but we just don't want it right here.
Reporting in Pittsburgh, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
And once again tonight, all commissioners voted in favor of the permit. And during tonight's commission meeting, representatives from the Kansas Department of Health and Environment, Thrive Kansas, and Child Care Aware of Kansas all spoke in support of approving the daycare. Freeman Health System announces its new leader. The Freeman Board of Directors has chosen Matthew Fry as their new president and CEO. Fry has previous healthcare administrative experience in California and Illinois. Fry takes the position vacated by the impending retirement of CEO Paula Baker. Now, the health system had originally tabbed Tom Keller for the job, but he backed out. Fry's first day is slated for April 1st. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us with our first look at weather.
Well, it definitely turned out to be a chilly one for us today, but we actually had a cold front that sinked through late this afternoon. So we have these kind of light northeasterly winds at about 5 to 10, but it's been kind of ushering in some cooler temperatures. Our northern counties, you're really going to dip off later on tonight. Here's about 1 o'clock in the morning, mid-teens and then mid-20s once you get into our southern counties. But by morning, pretty cold start, down to about 14 in Yates Center, 19 Oswego, 20 at Grand Lake. Let's go about 16 in Stockton. Good news is this cold air starts to retreat very quickly tomorrow, so we're going to get our temperatures back up to about where we were today. We've had some light little snow showers and flurries out there, not a big deal. Temperatures look better as we go through the next couple days. We start to warm up. We go lower 40s tomorrow and then 50s down the road. We're going to talk about that here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. Voters in the Cleora, Oklahoma Public School District overwhelmingly approve a $6 million bond issue. The district superintendent said enrollment has grown over the years, and the district was running out of space. The bond will fund a nearly 10,000 square foot expansion and cover renovations of the cafeteria and gymnasium. Although the bond passed tonight, there will not be a tax increase. Miami Public Schools selects Assistant Superintendent Jill Douthit as the district's next leader. The Miami Board of Education made the announcement last night, praising Douthit for her 6 years of dedication to the district. Douthit, who will step into the role this July, expressed excitement about serving the community and focusing on excellence in academics, facilities, and extracurriculars. Well, the cost of tuition and fees for college is no longer climbing as quickly as it once did. In fact, according to collegetuitioncompare.com, in Missouri, the cost has increased by only 1.45% over the last 5 years. KOAM's Lonnie Walton looks at what that means to students in Southwest Missouri.
It's multi-site college. I like to have a better connection with the professor.
Pedro Bolatti is a sophomore at Crowder College in Neosho studying business. He says one of the main reasons for attending this college was money.
International student, money is a problem for me. So I found Crowder College is affordable.
Crowder College Director of Public Information Cindy Brown says the university takes pride in keeping tuition low.
Our board and our administration are very aware that we don't want to pass a lot of tuition and fee increases on to students.
Not only are leaders saying it's important to keep tuition affordable for all, but they say it's an experience that they once had to encounter. Meet Linda Ice, a chief financial officer at Missouri Southern. She says grants have been beneficial for her throughout her college journey.
It's one of those students that qualified for the Pell Grant funding, and it really helped get me through Missouri Southern.
And Pedro is taking the same route at Crowder College. He says he has several scholarships.
Esports, foundation, theater, and student ambassador.
Although both colleges increase, they are still below the national average, according to College Tuition Compare. Leaders say they do all they can to make sure students get the most for their buck.
The more they can save and not have to pay when they get out, the more they can afford to live.
So I'm proud of me because I got a lot, and now I have free tuition. I don't pay for college.
I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Although cost for Missouri public colleges and universities jumped more than 4% from last year, the numbers are still below the national average, and that's according to College Tuition Compare. Well, coming up, doctors say the flu virus has now surpassed COVID and RSV in their emergency room data. And later, tax season is coming. We've got tips on how to avoid troubles when you file.
7 a.m.
The latest wave of norovirus infections have more than doubled last season's peak, and that's according to the CDC. Almost 30% of norovirus tests taken the week of New Year's were positive for the virus. Norovirus is the leading cause of foodborne illness in the U.S. Rates have reached or surpassed last season's peaks in all regions across the country. Now, the Midwest appeared to have particularly high positivity rates. The majority of cases go unreported because most people get better without needing a doctor's visit. Health experts say this year's wave of infections is driven by a new strain of the virus. More than 7 in 10 cases have been linked to the new strain. Well, flu season is here, and the number of hospitalizations from the flu has doubled in Colorado since late December. Fox's Kim Posey spoke to state health officials about these numbers and how to protect your family.
Doctors here at the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment say that flu has now surpassed COVID and RSV in their emergency room data, and there are now 2 A strains circulating in the community.
It was terrible. I had a pretty high fever.
Meredith Vanley was diagnosed with influenza A in December.
My body ached terribly. I was coughing.
The Evergreen resident says she was later diagnosed with walking pneumonia as well and missed 2 weeks of work.
I'm still recovering from that.
State health officials say flu activity and hospitalizations are on the rise.
We took a big jump after December 21st, and it's still going up.
Dr. Ned Colange at the Colorado Department of Public Health and Environment says that as of the last update on January 4th, there were 278 influenza hospitalizations in the state. That's up from 246 the previous week and 140 on December 21st.
It's severe enough to bring people into the hospital.
Also, 20% of tests reported to the state came back positive for flu. Dr. Colange says if you test positive, stay home, hydrate, take fever-reducing medications, and ask your provider about Tamiflu.
That can shorten the duration of flu symptoms by about a couple of days. You need to start Tamiflu early.
Doctors say this is a pretty typical flu season. To protect yourself, wash your hands regularly and take all of the normal precautions. And remember, it's not too late to get a flu shot. Kim Posey, Fox 31.
Well, smokers have a better chance of quitting if they use both medication and counseling. A study by the University of Texas found the approach called integrated care outperformed other methods of quitting smoking, with 30% of participants still avoiding smoking after 6 months. 85% of all lung cancer cases are caused by tobacco. Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast, and later the team at Mass General Brigham has created a database to make it easier for you to tell which foods at the grocery are processed.
FamilyCare.org. We are building relationships and providing great care.
Greg Kelly, Vice President with Phoenix Home Care and Hospice here. We are proud to share our expansion into southeastern Kansas. We provide state-funded Medicaid services for both agency-directed and self-directed services. We also provide private pay, veteran care, and home health. Throughout southwestern Missouri, Phoenix continues to offer our whole continuum of care in the home. Joining the Phoenix family is easy. Simply give us a call and request to speak with our care team.
I choose Phoenix.
Tonight's weather camera footage of downtown Joplin sits atop the Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex, home of Connect-A-Culture and Spivus Center for the Arts.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a chilly one for us today. Temperatures right around 40, 41 degrees. We are cooling down once again for us tonight. You still have that Arctic air up across parts of Canada, into the northern parts of the lower 48s, 12 in Sioux City, Des Moines, 20 in Kansas City. So a little surge of this colder air is sinking in for us tonight. Good news is it starts to retreat by the time we get into the daytime hours tomorrow. We've had a few flurries, a few light little snow showers, not a big deal. Most of the country is pretty calm, but if we look upstairs, the upper levels where our jet stream is, look at this big ridge off the coast of California. So if you follow the jet stream, goes up into Canada, grabs that cold air, and then it slides it right into the Central Plains. So that's why we've been so cold over the past several days, but we're going to see a little bit of moderation, especially late next week. All right, so look at the colors here. You can see where it cuts off. So this is below freezing. So of course, below freezing now, but look how it retreats as we go through the next few days. We do get a weak system in here on Friday. Few showers late, but look at the cold Arctic air. Slides it south into the Central Plains by the time we head into the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, into Monday, and then we just keep getting little surges of cold to Arctic air as we go through next week. So even though we are going to warm up later on this week, make sure you enjoy it because we go back down as we head into the weekend. All right, by morning, it's going to be cold. Mid-teens to near 20, maybe 24, 25 in our southern counties. Partly sunny skies on Wednesday, mid-30s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, most of us 40, 41 degrees. Very similar to what we saw today. Tomorrow night, slide back into the upper 20s to lower 30s. So not near as cold as we go into Thursday morning. And then Thursday afternoon looks great. Partly sunny skies, mid 40s northern counties, but near 50 once you get into our southern counties. So we're going in the right direction. 22 in the morning, 38 by noon. High temp, 41 for you on your Wednesday. Let's go down the road just a bit. So look at Friday here. Look at this. We bounce into lower 50s. Here comes our cold front. Slides in late Friday, gives us a few showers, maybe a couple flakes of snow. Most of this develops to our east. So this is going to be late Friday, and then here comes that cold air surging in. So by Saturday afternoon, we're only into lower 30s. If you're traveling to Kansas City, the Texans at the Chiefs, during the middle of the afternoon, it's going to be cold, should be dry, but temperature is only into the 20s. And then we stay cold Sunday. We're only into the 20s again. Monday, only into the 20s as well, and even a few light little snow showers. So it does get colder. All right, here's your forecast for you. 41 on your Wednesday, 49 on Thursday, but look at this, 53 on Friday, and then down only 35 Saturday, 28 on Sunday, and highs of only 24 degrees next Monday and Tuesday.
In the meantime, I'm going to focus on 50-degree weather. 50-degree. Well, a new four-way stop is activated in Pittsburgh. The stop signs are at the intersections of 5th and Pine Streets and 6th and Pine Street in Pittsburgh. Now, the Traffic Advisory Board made the decision to place them. The city advises motorists to be alert and exercise caution at these intersections. Definitely make them safer. Well, coming up, theft tracking tech.
Technology is being disguised in products. This white thread, that's not a product defect. That's actually all the information that the brand or the consumer will ever need to know. I'm Lauren Simonetti in New York, and I'll explain coming up.
Nominate your First Aid Hero today.
Tickets on sale now.
The top retailers are at what's known as Retail's Big Show, the annual showcase in New York City. The Fox Business correspondent Lauren Simonetti is at the Jacob Javits Center with how retailers are using tech to cut back on theft.
A theme of the NRF's Big Show is using technology to cut back on theft. The NRF put out numbers that showed there was a 93% increase in theft from 2019 to 2023. Francesco Mello is with Avery Dennison. You make RFID technology, you put it in the product so that product stays in the store instead of being taken out by someone who didn't buy it.
Absolutely. Thank you, Lauren. And what we do is we integrate the technology into items. Great example of that is the jacket that you see right here. In here, we have actually integrated the technology into the jacket that allows the jacket not just to be recognized, if you saw this just popped up, because it sees the jacket here, which also allows you to do theft prevention. The fact that you see what's happening to every item within the store allows you to significantly reduce theft.
But that technology is embedded in the actual jacket.
Absolutely is. In this case, it's actually on a seam. You can actually see it here because it's white, but think about it, if it was black, as a consumer, you would not know what it is. Exactly.
And then you're traceable.
Absolutely.
And so is the product.
Absolutely.
Another thing that this RFID technology does is show you about the product. So if a customer wanted to know where it was sourced, oh, look at that.
Absolutely. Here you got the example of product details linked to, say, re-commerce. You can think about elements of how you cross-sell. You can think about a multitude of product items linked to, care and content and so on. And you can provide this to the consumer.
Be a requirement, this information, by some countries
It will be, particularly in Europe. There's already a requirement for what we call the Digital Product Passport, or DPP. It's an upcoming requirement, and this is allowing retailers and brands to be ready for that upcoming legislation.
It sounds like this technology can do a multitude of things. And I'm thinking right now of tipping. When you go to buy a cup of coffee, for instance, you're often asked to leave a tip. You think it goes to the barista, but that's not always the case.
That's a great example. And yes, by monitoring things from farm to fork, when you have a coffee at a specific bar, let's say, you know where that coffee has come from. So you as a consumer can actually tip the farmer directly, as long obviously as you provide the back-end solution to do that. So it allows you to do things like that, which are pretty awesome.
It really is. Thank you very much, Francesco.
Thank you.
From the floor of the Jacob Javits Center in New York, I'm Lauren Simonetti, Fox Business.
Well, the IRS kicks off the 2025 tax season on January 27th, and experts say preparing now can make filing easier. Filing early helps avoid identity theft, while those with complex finances should consider using a tax advisor. For simple W-2 income, reliable tax software can help avoid errors. Life changes like buying a home or having a child may impact your return, so watch for important forms and credits. Most taxpayers have until April 15th to file. Residents of storm-hit states, including Florida and the Carolinas, have until May 1st. Researchers want to make it easier for you to tell which food at the grocery is processed. A team at Mass General Brigham has created a database that gives foods a score of how processed they are. It's called a Grocery DB, and it's available online. Ultra-processed foods contain additives, preservatives, and high sugar, salt, and fat, which can lead to obesity, diabetes, and heart disease. Up next, there's been recent coyote sightings in the 4 states. We've got tips to keep you safe if you ever encounter one.
Ashley is bringing.
Well, this winter there have been several coyote sightings. So one spot in particular at Wilderness Park, a popular place to take your dogs for a walk. Coyote mating season is underway, and also during the winter months, coyotes are on the move in search of food. If you see a coyote while walking your dog, the SCK Humane Society has a few tips. Maintain eye contact and slowly back away. If the coyote starts to follow you, yell or clap your hands, or even blow a whistle to scare it away. If your dog seems eager to meet the coyote, try distracting it with treats or changing direction. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. A controversial pick for Secretary of Defense, why Donald Trump's nominee Pete Hegseth is facing tough questions from lawmakers and the public. Plus, the fighting in Gaza could soon be over as both sides have agreed to a ceasefire deal, with an announcement expected soon.
You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9. I'm Tanya Bach. Confirmation hearings for President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet kick off today. Now, some are expected to go smoothly, like Senator Marco Rubio's for Secretary of State. But others will be more contentious, such as Pete Hegseth, Trump's pick for Secretary of Defense. That hearing is front and center today. Fox's Rebecca Castor has more from Washington.
Donald Trump's controversial pick for Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, arriving for what's expected to be a contentious confirmation hearing. But the former Fox News host and combat veteran believes he's the man for the job.
It's time to give someone with dust on his boots the helm. A change agent, someone with no vested interest in certain companies or specific programs or approved narratives.
But first, Democrats want answers about a slew of allegations against Hegseth, including sexual misconduct and alcohol issues. They also question whether he's prepared to lead an agency as complex as the Pentagon.
Put aside all the charges of sexual impropriety and alcohol abuse. There has never been a nominee for an office of such serious consequence who is so unqualified and unprepared in recent American history.
But Hegseth has shored up support among GOP lawmakers and the military community, and dozens of veterans filled the hearing room Tuesday to show their support. Hegseth's confirmation will rely on GOP unity, meaning some Republican senators will have to decide if they want to go against Donald Trump.
Keep in mind, under President Trump, during those first 4 years, we had no new wars. And that was because we had deterrence, we had peace through strength, and with Pete Hegseth at the helm, we're going to get back to that.
In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Well, President-elect Trump caused a stir recently when he said he wouldn't rule out the use of force to take over Greenland. Now, the island's prime minister says Greenlanders don't want to be an American. Though he pointed to a closer partnership with Washington, the prime minister also added his government is looking to boost defense and mining ties with the U.S. Greenland has been self-ruling since 1979, although Denmark still controls its foreign and security policies. With a ceasefire agreement expected to be announced in the coming hours or days, the Biden administration is turning its focus to what comes next for war-torn Gaza. Fox's Jared Halpern has more from Washington.
The fighting in Gaza could soon be over. Both Israel and Hamas have agreed to a U.S.-brokered ceasefire deal with an announcement expected in the coming days or even hours. And we're learning more about the Biden administration's vision for post-war Gaza. Secretary of State Antony Blinken unveiling a plan that would see the international community, possibly the UN, handle day-to-day governance in Gaza, while a coalition of mostly Arab countries would provide security forces until the Palestinian Authority is able to take over.
Our imperative is not to turn back the clock to the way things were before October 7th. It's to forge a new reality for the Middle East in which all people are more secure, all can realize their national aspirations, all can live in peace.
Senior Israeli officials tell Fox News the inauguration of Donald Trump helped make this breakthrough possible. The president-elect sent his Mideast envoy, Steve Witkoff, to push the Israelis to accept a deal, hoping to have the first hostages home by the time Trump is sworn in next week.
He would like to get a Nobel Peace Prize. He would like to end all the wars. He's very clear-cut about that goal.
The Israeli government is also under increasing domestic pressure to make this deal happen, with time running out to save the remaining hostages.
We don't want more hostages left behind, and we don't want to hear about more hostages being killed in captivity.
President Biden is also taking credit, saying the deal is nearly identical to the one he proposed back in May. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, lost memories found. A camera filled with treasured family photos is discovered after a tornado. How one woman's act of kindness brought those pictures home.
By the Center for the Arts.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a chilly one for us today. Temperatures right around 41 degrees. We are cooling down once again for us tonight. You still have that Arctic air up across parts of Canada, into the northern parts of the lower 48s, 12 in Sioux City, Des Moines, 20 in Kansas City. So a little surge of this colder air is sinking in for us tonight. Good news is it starts to retreat by the time we get into the daytime hours tomorrow. We've had a few flurries, a few light little snow showers, not a big deal. Most of the country is pretty calm, but if we look upstairs, the upper levels where our jet stream is, look at this big ridge off the coast of California. So if you follow the jet stream, goes up into Canada, grabs that cold air, and then it slides it right into the Central Plains. So that's why we've been so cold over the past several days, but we're going to see a little bit of moderation, especially late next week. All right, so look at the colors here. You can see where it cuts off. So this is below freezing. So of course, below freezing now, but look how it retreats as we go through the next few days. We do get a weak system in here on Friday, a few showers late, but look at the cold Arctic air. Slides it south into the Central Plains by the time we head into the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, into Monday, and then we just keep getting little surges of cold to Arctic air as we go through next week. So even though we are going to warm up later on this week, make sure you enjoy it because we go back down as we head into the weekend. All right, by morning, it's going to be cold. Mid-teens to near 20, maybe 24, 25 in our southern counties. Partly sunny skies on Wednesday, mid-30s by noon. Once we get into the afternoon, most of us 40, 41 degrees. Very similar to what we saw today. Tomorrow night, slide back into the upper 20s to lower 30s. So not near as cold as we go into Thursday morning. And then Thursday afternoon looks great. Partly sunny skies. Mid 40s northern counties, but near 50 once you get into our southern counties. So we're going in the right direction. 22 in the morning, 38 by noon. High temp, 41 for you on your Wednesday. Let's go down the road just a bit. So look at Friday here. Look at this. We bounce into lower 50s. Here comes our cold front. Slides in late Friday. Gives us a few showers, maybe a couple flakes of snow. Most of this develops to our east. So this is going to be late Friday. And then here comes that cold air surging in. So by Saturday afternoon, we're only into lower 30s. If you're traveling to Kansas City, the Texans at the Chiefs during the middle of the afternoon. It's going to be cold, should be dry, but temperature is only into the 20s. And then we stay cold Sunday, we're only into the 20s again. Monday, only into the 20s as well, and even a few light little snow showers. So it does get colder. All right, here's your forecast for you. 41 on your Wednesday, 49 on Thursday, but look at this, 53 on Friday, and then down only 35 Saturday, 28 on Sunday, and highs of only 24 degrees next Monday and Tuesday.
Well, coming up in sports, the Oklahoma City Thunder hope to continue their winning ways. Plus, Columbus High School basketball hosts Neodesha. John Dales has those highlights and more up next.
Chili and cinnamon rolls. Join us January 8th.
Hey, welcome into sports. I'm John Dales, and tonight Columbus High School not only hosts 2 basketball games against visiting Neodesha, but also honors a member of its football team. We'll start with the basketball. Columbus girls hoops at home tonight. The Lady Titans play host to Neodesha. We pick it up in the second quarter. Trinity Bell fires from the top of the key and drills a 3-pointer. We move ahead to the third. Kiana Saunders working hard on the offensive glass, gets the rebound and puts it back in for 2. Neodesha stretches its lead to double digits, but here comes Columbus, specifically Katie Mooney off the inbound pass, nothing but net on a corner 3. A couple possessions later, here's Mooney, another 3-pointer, drains it. Then final seconds of the quarter, Mooney is money from beyond the arc, and the Titans get all the way back to tie it in the fourth quarter, but Neodesha would weather the storm, and Prairie Roebuck answers with a 3 of her own. Neodesha holds on down the stretch. Lady Streaks beat Columbus 53-43 on the road. In between tonight's varsity basketball games, Columbus High School senior Jace Midget receives an official invite to the 2025 Kansas Shrine Bowl. Midget is a 2024 first-team All-State defensive back. He helped lead the Titans to a 7-3 record this past fall. That includes a first-round playoff victory. Midget is committed to Coffeyville Community College for baseball, and the 2025 Shrine Bowl will take place in Dodge City on June 21st. Now to the boys' game. Neodesha makes the trip to Titan Fieldhouse to face Columbus. We start in the first quarter. Jaden Huckabee flashes into the passing lane, gets the steal, loses it for a moment, but keeps his composure and finishes the layup. Those are the first points of the night. A couple minutes later, nice bounce pass here from Carter Woodcock to Cooper Size. He gets the bucket through contact plus the foul. We're still in the first quarter, and Neodesha turns defense into offense once again. Rylan Allen gets the steal, and then he hits the floater. Blue Streaks lead it by 6. A little bit later, a loose ball. Neodesha retains possession, and here's Allen from beyond the 3-point line. That's good. He had 23 points in just the first half. Here's another Blue Streak big man. Jacob Sandboth turns around and scores down low. Neodesha with a dominant road victory. Blue Streaks take care of Columbus 75-54. Another game of note in the area, Galena boys basketball remains undefeated. Bulldogs go on the road and earn a 45-23 win over the Panthers of Colgan, who were ranked 8th in Class 2A. Galena scored more points in just the second half than Colgan did the whole contest. Then closing things out with Pro Hoops, the Thunder keep on rolling. They take down the Sixers 118-102. MVP candidate Shai Gilgeous-Alexander has 32 points and 9 assists. Thunder improved to 33-6 on the year. That's it for sports. We're back after this.
Cherished family photos lost forever. That's what a family in Oklahoma thought when a tornado tore through a storage unit at a relative's home in Norman in 2023. Fast forward to just days ago when a woman bought a camera at a thrift store. She noticed an old SD card in the camera. Turns out that card contained those priceless images. Kylie Thomas spoke with the woman who was determined to get the photos back to their rightful owner.
I was actually looking for a gift for my best friend because she wants one of those little small digital cameras. And so the one that I brought it home and I noticed that there was an SD card in it. And so whenever I put the SD card in, I noticed there was a ton of just really great family photos. And I thought, you know, if it were me, I would want to have them.
More than 300 lost family photos. The pictures dated back to 2011, from family reunions to backyard barbecues. Courtney Taylor knew she had to find the family, so she went online. and within hours, the internet found them.
When I received them in my messenger, I couldn't believe it. To see them, it broke my heart and made me happy at the same time.
Amber White says the camera that stored those precious family photos was in her aunt's storage unit when it was hit by the Norman tornado in 2023. Irreplaceable family memories were gone in a flash.
That camera had pictures on it that we thought that we'd never see again.
But on Sunday, the family from McLeod was given a gift, memories they thought were lost forever.
There was a picture of me and my mother that passed in 2018 that I've never seen before that was on that camera roll. And a person that would do that it blows my mind. Because a lot of people would just throw in the trash.
I'm actually an intern at the Grady County Historical Society Museum here in Chickasha, and I'm going to school too for museum studies. And a lot of that has a lot to do with like photo preservation and like archiving photos and things. And so photos have just always been very important to me, and preserving someone's history and family history.
Well, Courtney said she knew returning those photos would mean something special to the family. Well, stars rallying for relief. How Hollywood is stepping up to support communities devastated by the Los Angeles wildfires. The details next. Industry events add fundraisers, and stars are launching emergency funds. And we have a look at just a few of the many ongoing efforts to help those impacted by the devastating California wildfires. Fox's Ashley Dvorkin has more in the Hollywood Nation.
Emergency funds and benefits to help those affected by the Los Angeles fires are in today's Hollywood Nation. A fire aid benefit concert is set for January 30th at the Intuit Dome. Live Nation, one partner in the concert, announced the event is dedicated to rebuilding communities devastated by wildfires and supporting efforts to prevent future fire disasters throughout Southern California. The Grammy Awards will still take place February 2nd, and the telecast will now raise funds to support wildfire relief efforts. A statement to Variety on behalf of the Recording Academy said the show will carry a renewed sense of purpose. Oscar nominations were postponed to a virtual event January 23rd. The Academy's CEO and president said they're determined to celebrate our resilient and compassionate industry and to look forward to honoring our frontline workers who have aided with the fires, recognizing those impacted, and encouraging people to join in supporting the relief efforts. The Oscars are March 2nd. Among stars raising money, Paris Hilton, whose Malibu home burned in the fires, launched an emergency fund. She wrote on Instagram she started it with a personal contribution of $100,000 and was matching up to $100,000 more. Then updated within 24 hours, they raised more than $520,000, and the fundraising continues. Beyonce's Be Good Foundation pledged a donation of $2.5 million to LA fire relief. An Instagram post stated the donation is earmarked for those in Altadena and Pasadena who have lost homes, and churches and community centers to address the immediate needs of those affected by the wildfires. In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We're going to leave you with video of a two-toed sloth and her newborn sloth at the Cheyenne Mountain Zoo in Colorado. So cute. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.